You know, have you ever really thought about it? What's the fundamental difference between a rock and a redwood tree, or a puddle of water and a person? It's this huge, profound question. What does it actually mean to be alive? And that mystery, that's what biology is all about.
So, welcome to your grand tour of biology. I want you to think of this less like a textbook and more like a field guide for an absolutely incredible journey. Together, we're going to explore the story of life, all the way from its simplest chemical ingredients to its most complex, breathtaking forms.
Our adventure is going to be all about scale. We're going to start at the very, very bottom with the tiniest building blocks of reality, and from there, we'll just keep zooming out, level by level. We'll go from microscopic machinery to entire organisms to global ecosystems until we see the whole planet as one giant, interconnected living system. It's going to be epic. Now, on a journey this big, every explorer needs a great guide, right? Well, you've got one. Your guide for this adventure is a really cool new kind of AI-powered tool built on a platform called Notebook LM. It's basically designed to be your personal tutor 24/7.
And this totally changes how you can learn this stuff. I mean, what if you're stuck on a tricky concept at 2 in the morning? You can just ask the AI chat for help. Or, right before a test, you can use the interactive flashcards and quizzes that are built right into every single chapter. It makes learning this amazing subject so much more dynamic and, honestly, personal to you. All right, let's kick off our journey at the smallest possible scale. See, to really understand life, we have to start with its ingredients. And you might be surprised to find out that all the magnificent complexity of the living world is built from a recipe that's actually astonishingly simple. Everything, and I mean everything, you, me, the air we're breathing, it all starts right here, with atoms. The best way to think about them is like the universe's fundamental Lego bricks. And from just a handful of these atomic bricks, life builds its most essential molecules. So life takes these simple atoms and assembles them into its core toolkit, these four major classes of giant molecules. You've got carbohydrates, which are basically fuel, lipids, which create all the boundaries and compartments, proteins, which are the real workhorses that do pretty much everything, and of course, nucleic acids, which hold all the master instructions. But okay, how do you get from just a pile of molecules to something that's actually alive? Well, the answer is the cell. This is the first true level of life. Think of it like a microscopic, bustling city where all that chemistry finally sparks into existence. And inside each one of these tiny cellular cities, you'll find all these specialized districts, or organelles. You have the nucleus, which is kind of like City Hall. It houses the master blueprint, the DNA. And the mitochondria? Those are the power plants, working tirelessly around the clock to keep the lights on. So what's powering this whole operation? It all comes down to one crucial molecule, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. You can think of it as the dollar of the cellular economy. Literally every single thing a cell does, from you thinking a thought to flexing a muscle, is paid for with ATP. If you understand this one molecule, you're well on your way to understanding how life works. Okay, let's zoom in on that cellular city hall for a second and take a look at the master blueprint itself. Because here, inside the nucleus, we find probably the most famous molecule in all of biology, DNA. The way this blueprint gets read is through a process called the central dogma. Basically, DNA holds the permanent master plan. Then RNA comes along and makes a temporary working copy, sort of like a photocopy, and takes it out to the construction site. And from that copy, proteins are built to actually carry out the instructions. It's this beautiful, elegant flow of information from storage into action. And this code, this is the secret to heredity. It's why you look like your parents, but also why you're totally, completely unique. Tiny changes and new combinations in this code, passed down over millions and millions of years, are the engine that has created the absolutely stunning diversity of all life on Earth. All right, it's time for our final jump in scale. We're going to go from the single organism to the biggest picture of all, how every living thing is connected to each other and to the planet itself, all woven together in this great web of life. Check this out. This is the tree of life. It's a picture of billions of years of history, and what it shows is that every single living thing on this planet, from the tiniest bacterium to the biggest blue whale, shares a common ancestor. The engine that drives this magnificent, branching tree is evolution by natural selection. It's this incredibly powerful process that has shaped all life in response to an ever-changing world. And this is where everything we've talked about comes together. In ecosystems like this gorgeous coral reef, all those principles are in action at once. From the chemistry of atoms to the flow of genetic information. It's just a dazzling, complex, interconnected system where energy is constantly flowing from one organism to the next. So, why does any of this matter? Well, because we are not just spectators looking at this web of life, we are a part of it. Understanding how these living systems work isn't just some academic exercise. As this quote makes really clear, it's absolutely critical for our own health, our food, our economy, our future on this planet. So there you have it. From the tiniest atom all the way up to the global ecosystem, you now have a map of the incredible territory we're going to explore together. And with your AI guide, you have all the tools you need for the adventure. Your journey through the story of life, well, it starts right now. The story of life is this epic, ongoing saga, billions of years in the making. And now, it's your turn to be the explorer. So the real question is, what will you discover?